With your sound on.
You know, there's a quote that my mother tells me from time to time. She says, "You're too smart to be this stupid." And hearing something like that, it makes you start thinking deeper about that meaning. You're too smart to be this stupid. So I look deeper into it, and I'm like, when people tell me that I'm too smart to be this stupid, it's like, what are they alluding to? Are they saying that I'm smart, but also dumb at the same time? But how can you be smart and dumb? If you're smart, then that means you know how to make the right choices all the time. If you're smart, then that means you know the most guaranteed result and how to take advantage of it and how to pretty much guarantee yourself the most success out of anything. If as a smart person would say, a smart person would just know what to do. But then the dumb person is the one that has the feeble mind, that's foolish, that's reckless, that's just dumb, doesn't know what to do, doesn't try to know what to do, and just doesn't seem like doesn't seem like they are even, that there's any kind of hope with that person, you know. It doesn't seem like there's any kind of hope. They don't have no hope of changing, they have no hope of even becoming better than they think they are. So they're just dumb. But it gets confusing though, because it's like, how in the world can you say that I'm smart, I'm too smart to be this stupid? Because maybe I like to limit myself. Maybe I like to limit my potential a lot. I like to limit my potential because I want to test myself. I call it mental testing, mental preparation. How about that? Mental preparation is what I call it. Is when you put yourself in very unorthodox, weird situations, and then you just think, what can you do to make the situation better for yourself? What can you do? How can you do it? And what does it take to get it done? What kind of sacrifices will you have to endure by trying to take this route? And if you are accepting the sacrifice that you have to take, then that means it's yours. That means it's yours. You're not dumb. You already accepted it, so it's yours. It's yours to take, and it's yours to have, and it's yours to keep, as long as you maintain. So, the fact that you can come up with your own understanding and then be able to remain calm within your own mentality and then learn more from it and allow it to and apply it to your everyday thought process to make your thinking even better than the next person's, because they wouldn't think the way that you think. They wouldn't know anything from the perspective that you have, because it's your perspective. It's what you've witnessed, it's what you've done, it's what you've experienced. It's what you put yourself into to be able to make answers for yourself, to be able to come out and tell people, this is exactly how it is. This is exactly what I did, and this is similar to this situation, that situation, and this is essentially the answer to all those situations. This is the answer. In my unorthodox situation that I put myself into, I was able to create a solution. I was able to create a solution and make a result. Make my own result. And then that result can tie into various different situations that are in need of results. Or if you're looking for results and you feel like you can't find any, then you look at this person's results and you start realizing, holy shit, what they did was weird, but it worked. It worked. The situation they put themselves in, they were so dumb for putting themselves in that, but then they were smart for what they did inside of it and came out from it. They became smart, or they showed that just how smart that they was in that dumb situation. And then when you think about mental preparation, it's more like you're now prepared to know how to deal with shit a lot better than you ever would have thought that you could. So the fact that you know how to deal with shit a lot better because you made new results and new solutions and new possibilities for your own thought process, that means nothing can fucking touch you. Nothing can touch you if you are able to enhance that. If you are able to put yourself in weird situations and make solutions out of those situations, and then be able to share those solutions that ties with the problems that everybody might have that can't find solutions or struggling with them, and they're in search of somebody for a solution, and they come to you and they realize you came up with a solution that the average person could not ever think to come up with from a situation you put yourself in. So that makes you special, and it makes you smart. It indeed makes you smart, because it's a test to your mentality. It's a test of your endurance. It's a test to see what you can withstand, what you can deal with, and what you can reverse for your own benefits to make the situation better. Not worse, better. So don't always assume that somebody is essentially making shit worse for themselves. Just because you might perceive it that way. You might think that, well, someone like me, I would feel like this would affect me worse. I wouldn't be able to grow from this. I wouldn't be able to learn from this or change from this. This would just tear me up. This would just tear me down. I can't go like this. I can't do this. I gotta do something else. I gotta do something different. But then the person that just stands there and just was like, it's just like, yeah, I hear you. Okay, that's you. But here's the thing. I think that there's something deeper to this problem, so I'm gonna stay here and I'm gonna wait and see what happens from it. Or I'm gonna wait and see if I can find that little light in the tunnel, because at the end there's always a light. There's always a light at the end because of a new beginning. So therefore I'm gonna keep on going. I'm gonna keep staying here and I'm gonna keep moving forward. I'm gonna keep on searching for that light. You can call me foolish, you can call me stupid all you want, but when I find it, then it's like, hey, I told you so. But then sometimes you gotta look at the other side. It's like, at what cost? At what cost did it take for you to find that light? At what cost did it take for you to go through all of that just to find that answer in the end, and then look back and realize you're all by yourself? Nobody's with you, nobody went that far with you, and nobody's able to even give you any kind of accomplishment because nobody's even there to see you. So what did it cost? Did you do it for them? Or did you do it for yourself? And if you did it for yourself, you shouldn't give a fuck about what other people feel. If it was all for yourself, it all starts from yourself. It all starts from the self first. So I feel like a lot of people forgot about that, is that it always starts from the inside. It always starts from the mind. If you can't work with this, nothing will work with you. Nothing will work with you. Nothing will work for you. If you can't control this, then you will work for everybody else, because you want to appeal to everybody else. You want to follow a path that everybody else is giving you, because you don't have the mindset to tell yourself, this is not what the fuck I want, so I'm gonna go this way, and I'm gonna stay this way because this is what the fuck is most comfortable for me, and I don't give a damn about what anybody says, because this is what the fuck I have chosen to do. And if nobody can seem to respect that, then unfortunately they have to go the way that they are supposed to go. And that's the part of life, is that people are going to go the way that they're supposed to go, and if it's away from you, then essentially you got to respect that they're going to stay away from you, and they're supposed to stay away from you. You can't force yourself to try to keep people to stay with you if they keep going into opposite directions. You can't do that. Sometimes you can, because that's for the other person to realize that their opposites are pulling them away, so they're going to bring themselves back. It takes for the person inside themselves to see that before they actually acknowledge that and tell that, yes, I see that these opposites are pulling us apart, so what we're going to do is we're going to reverse it and make it come back to us, and that way we stay. It takes two people to make that commitment. It can't take one person to try to bring the opposite in, unless that one person that's bringing the opposites back is essentially igniting the fire that pretty much was burnt out from the other person who might have gave up or just thought that it was pointless or just no use. But then they see the effort they're putting in, and it might spark their fire again. They might realize this person actually cares for what they're doing. And they didn't have to decide to do it. They didn't have to decide to do it. They didn't have to decide to do shit at all. But the fact that they did, the fact that they're showing effort. So it's like, how can you ever tell that somebody's not caring if they're showing effort? You can't ever say that they're not caring. If they didn't, it just shows in their actions that if they didn't, they wouldn't have done a lot of things. They wouldn't have done a lot of things for you. They wouldn't have said a lot of things. Even if you just might assume that it just wasn't for, it just probably wasn't for you. It just wasn't the right time. Or you just think that it was just a load of shit. But you wouldn't know that because you don't know how that person's mentality is for how they act and how they perceive the world and what they choose to do in terms of feeling like what they're doing is right. Everybody is misunderstood. You are misunderstood. I am misunderstood. Everybody is misunderstood. So it takes a lot of mental practice to be able to survive a world where people will continuously misunderstand you. And the fact that people will misunderstand you is even dangerous is because the people that are powerful that misunderstand you will perceive you in a different way, and it will affect your life because they have the power to affect your life. And that's not fair. But that's all because of their mentality, right? It's all because of how they fucking think and how they feel, and feel like their thoughts are more and more superior and more better than anybody else's, and they have the right to condemn somebody else that they feel like is wrong or bad. They feel like they have the power to condemn somebody that's wrong. And who are you to feel like you have that power? Who are you to feel like you have the right to call somebody out of their name when they've done not a single thing to deserve their name to be called out on? Not something to deserve to be publicly announced and humiliated, but no, they've never done anything to hurt a fly. But all they did was just a little bit of black magic. How about that? You have the white magic, the kind, the nice soul, and you have a little bit of black magic, where that's the complete opposite, where it's just the distrust, there's the sneaky, there's the lies, there's the deception. But then just a little bit of black magic from a primarily white magician, and now he's just a corrupted magician. He just does black magic now because it's forbidden to do black magic. It is completely forbidden to do black magic, and if you do it, you will be condemned, and nobody will ever like you. Nobody will ever appreciate you. You will never be valued because of what you represented. But mentality-wise, there was no harm done in using that black magic, though. There was no harm done. There was no intentional harm. Never any intentional harm. The only harm that was done was from yourself, because of how you felt, because of how you allowed your feelings to make you feel hurt. But it's understood, though. It is completely understood, because that's just how you're going to feel when you're hurt. When you're hurt, you're going to feel a certain way, and it's going to affect you. It's going to affect your judgment. It's going to affect your thought process. It affects everyone. It affects all of us. And that is how we allow ourselves to self-destruct. Because we don't know how to control those emotions that are so negative, to where we allow ourselves to self-destruct. We allow ourselves to go crazy, and we allow ourselves to make a bunch of excuses and feel like, well, this wouldn't have happened if this didn't happen. So because this happened, this is why I'm this way. This is why I'm that way. This is why I'm doing this, that, and the third. And then you just keep justifying it until you allow yourself to self-destruct. And when you self-destruct, who is there to blame? All you will do is continue to blame everybody else for your self-destruct. But where is everybody else in the middle of your self-destruct? Where is everybody else currently in your explosion? Nobody. It's just you. You're the one that's exploding, all by yourself. Everybody that you kept saying is the reason why you're exploding, they are nowhere next to you. They are nowhere near you. They are out and about living their lives. And they're not even thinking about you exploding, because you don't even look like you're the type to even explode, right? You keep everything bottled inside. You don't say nothing. You keep yourself hidden. But then there's so much that you can take to where that bottle starts cracking, And then once it reaches its limit, it starts to explode. But nobody's there to put the cap back on there because you feel like nobody has ever been there. But then you fail to remember that there was always people that was there. There was always people that was there. There was always people that try to put the cap on for you. Always somebody that was there. But all it takes is just one realization, and then the whole perspective is just changed completely. Even after all the effort that you can do to even show that this is not how I want you to perceive of me, and you have the proof to show that this is not how you should perceive me. Even in the midst of the bad moments, this is not how you should perceive of me as a bad person, because that's just ignoring the human qualities that we have of essentially always being a bad person to somebody, but never purposely trying to be a bad person. Sometimes people just try to be good memories. They just want to be good memories. They just want to be something that you can remember in case you ever have a bad moment in life, or you're just emotional and you just want to look back on something to smile at. Sometimes there's people in the world that want to do that want to actually leave a nice smile on somebody's face if they ever got into a hard moment. Sometimes that's just the case. But nobody would believe that. Or at least I would think nobody would ever want to believe that. And you can't blame people for thinking that, because that's just how they might have perceived the world, as if nobody would ever be that genuine to actually want to help people and talk to people and just not even want to like hurt somebody because of just some little bit of lies they might have told. Then it makes you question what else could they have been lying about? Could they have ever been truthful? Were they ever truthful? They probably were never truthful. And then it's like, well, the person can't say nothing. They can't say nothing. They can't do nothing because you done created these outcomes in your head, and you're already coming up with answers yourself to where the person can't even tell you the answers. The true answers, if that. Because only that person would know the answers that's true, is because the truth is within himself to be able to tell it. If he's not telling the truth, you can see it on his face, you can see it on his expressions. You can see it on anybody's expressions when they're not telling the truth, right? Yes, the emotions, the high rise and tension. As soon as you realize that you're lying, as soon as you realize you're almost backed into a corner, that you're about to get caught, and that something's about to happen, if you actually get caught, you just get real nervous, and you just blood rushes, just skyrockets. But then it's like, what about the person that doesn't allow that to happen anymore? So do we forget about the one person that doesn't allow that to happen to them anymore? Or when they just accept that, look, I'm not gonna keep running away from this. I'm not gonna keep getting scared. I'm not gonna allow people to keep on trying to use my faults against me to make me feel like I don't deserve to live or something. Yes, this is the truth. This is how it is. This is how it's been. This is how it will be. And if you can't accept that, I'm sorry. That's just straight up like that. If you can't accept the truth, which is 9 times out of 10, you can't handle the truth, as they always say, then then we just go our separate paths. That's just unfortunate, but it just has to happen. And you know that it has to happen. Because I'm telling you that this is the best way for it. This is the best way for us to go, is separate ways. But am I wrong for being respectful about it and not arguing and not wanting to be furious about it? Am I wrong for being respectful about it and saying, hey, I understand. And I understand your frustration, and I understand how you're feeling. But I want you to understand that you need to understand me too. So that way it's mutual. But if you can't be on that mutual type of time, you're just not mature enough for it. You just don't have the mentality. Your mentality is not prepared enough. You need to practice your mentality more. It is a powerful thing. It keeps you healthy. It keeps you healthy. It keeps you gifted. And trust me, there's a lot of things that will come. A lot of things that will come from it. But you just gotta give it a chance though. You gotta test yourself. Test your mentality. Test your mentality as much as you can. It will do you some good. So it's been a little while since I last been on the podcast, but here I am back again because every time I come back on here, I always have like something that's in my head that I just want to just let loose, and I always be trying to figure out the time of when I feel like it's best for me to do that. So a lot of things that happens in life, I end up just like, you know what, I end up coming up with like a nice little discussion about it, like, and I just put it into the form of a story to just let me vent, just to let me vent. And then it's just like it makes you feel good. So sometimes you need to vent in case you are ever going through hard times. If you just need to let it loose, just say it, record it, just talk about it, say it to somebody, or just say it to yourself. If you feel like talking to yourself is weird, it's like shit, I do it every fucking day, so it doesn't even matter to me, because you can just see how cool I am with just talking to myself, because it helps you. It just helps you work on your mentality a lot better with just staying more calm and learning how to be very, very peaceful with yourself. That way you can learn how to be more and more peaceful out into the world. That way you just don't let shit bother you. That way you just don't let people bother you, and you just know how to live a healthier life. So thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys on the next podcast. Thank y'all.